Chapter 11, Psychological Skills Training. How often have you seen an athlete or a coach make a mistake and then try to remedy the poor performance with an increase in practice time? Often, a lack of physical skills is not the real issue. Rather, a lack of mental skills is the issue. That's what we're going to be discussing today. Psychological Skills Training, or PST, refers to a systematic approach and consistent practice of mental or psychological skills for the purpose of enhancing performance, increasing enjoyment, or achieving greater sport and physical activity self-satisfaction. The methods and techniques of PST include behavior modification, cognitive theory and therapy, rational emotive therapy, goal setting, attentional control, progressive muscle relaxation, and systemic desensitization. So, why is psychological skill training important? Psychological factors can account for day-to-day fluctuations in performance. If we could regulate these fluctuations, we would end up with a more consistent performance, which would be great. All sports and exercise participants can fall victim to mental mistakes. Mental and emotional components often overshadow and transcend the purely physical and technical aspects of performance. The importance of mental skills are seen in the highly valued attribute of mental toughness. Most coaches consider sport to be at least 50% mental when competing against an opponent of similar ability. And some sports are even higher, up to 80 to 90% mental. More successful players differ from less successful ones in how developed their psychological skills are. Most successful athletes differ mentally from less successful ones due to better concentration, higher confidence, more task-oriented thoughts, lower anxiety, more determination or commitment, and more positive thoughts and images. In psychological skill training, athletes and coaches find the most useful skills to be arousal regulation, imagery and mental preparation, increased motivational and commitment such as goal setting, confidence, attention or concentration, self-talk, and mental plans. Implementing a psychological skills training program. So who can do it? Anyone can do this if they have proper knowledge of the technique. They need to know how to perform these techniques, but they are relatively easy to learn and easy to use with an athlete or exercise population. When can it be implemented? The ideal time frame for acquisition of psychological skills training is in the off-season, when there isn't a whole lot of competition. This allows you to learn the technique and implement them, but the technique can be used at any time. It's always nice when your athletes or exercise population can practice these skills before having to implement them in a stressful situation. How often can we implement these techniques? These techniques take approximately 10 to 15 minutes a day to complete, and they should be practiced around 3 to 5 days a week. We need to continue the utilization of these techniques throughout our sport or exercise participation for them to be effective. Short and sweet.